Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Um, as you can see, a lot has changed. I'm now 36 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and my C-section is scheduled for 2 weeks and 6 days from now, but who's counting, right? But I wanted to take the time to sit down with you, chat about life and the feeling of being in metamorphosis, like when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's kind of like how I feel right now. Um, Obviously, I haven't been too active on my channel or really on any of my socials, except for here and there on Instagram and TikTok. But, I've just, the thing about being pregnant, it's just, there's so much going on, and also with everyday life, it's hard to just like kind of sit down and just focus on something, which is why I haven't really been able to come up with a lot of content ideas or just like really take the time to sit down. And to be quite honest, I've just been really tired lately and stressed out and overwhelmed. But my maternity leave started this week. So now that I've got some more time and my kids are out of school, so I'm not constantly revolving my schedule around them and dropping them off, picking them up, and working my job. And so I have time to just be home and just focus on the home and my family and getting things ready for the baby and taking more time to sit down and like just really think about what comes next. This is going to be my third baby, my third son, which is wild to me still. I cannot believe I'm having another boy. And to answer the inevitable question, no, I don't know if we're going to try again for a girl. Honestly, though, with how uncomfortable I have been pretty much throughout this entire third trimester, I don't know if I want to get pregnant again. I mean, things could change. We don't know. But as of right now, it's not a plan. It's not happening, But like I said, we'll see. I'm also turning 34 3 days before my son is born. So, with that comes an increased difficulty of getting pregnant. This baby, it took me a year to get pregnant. Then again, I mean, I know that's not really that long, especially for somebody my age. That's actually, I would think, pretty amazing, I guess. But again, who knows? It just depends on where we are. If things do not change at all in the next, let's say 3 years, because I don't, past the age of like 37, 38, I don't want to have any more babies. Like, that's, no. My oldest baby is starting high school in a few months, which blows my mind because it's been exactly 20 years since I started high school. I had him at a very young age, obviously, but like it's crazy enough to think that my oldest child is going to have a 14 and a half year difference from my youngest child. You know what I mean? And it's like, by the time my youngest starts kindergarten, my oldest is already going to be in like his second year of college, if he goes to college. Again, we don't know. Right now, his plan is to join the military after high school. He's going to be going into JROTC. He's super excited about it. I'm excited about it because my dad was in the Air Force. And, if he were here to see his grandson basically follow into his blueprint, he would be over the moon. But, Unfortunately, he has to watch from the spiritual realm, if there is one. Um, Moving on. So, at the beginning of the year, I created a whole vision board and did a big goal setting thing. And I had hoped to get this channel enough of an audience and enough of a following and a presence so that by the time this baby was born, maybe I could have been generating some income so that I could quit my job and not have to go back after maternity leave. Clearly, I have not been successful at that. Like I said, it's been a stressful time, with my husband and I's job and other just outside things out of our control. And, right now it seems like things are kind of starting to fall into place and get on a better, smoother road. So another thing I want to do, in this time off from work is just focus on my passions and my goals and trying to make that happen. And I know with a newborn that's going to be a challenge, but thankfully this is not my first rodeo, so I'm pretty confident that I will be able to get things done. And I also think too, like when he's born and I see his face, it's going to kickstart something in me to really buckle down and commit to it. Because like I said, like I am in a phase of metamorphosis. Like I'm just kind of in a cocoon, waiting to blossom. And obviously I already have a sense of purpose having 2 other children. But like with each child, like it's always a big life change. Not just because you're adding a new child to the mix, but I feel like every time I've had a baby, it has changed who I am as a person. With my first son, I was very young and I was very naive. Like I enjoyed the pregnancy for the most part. And then he was born, and when we brought him home from the hospital, and it finally dawned on me. I wasn't even 20 years old yet. I was still 19. And I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing." Like, I'm a mom. Like, this is my life now. Like, there's no going back. And like, this is crazy. Like, all my friends are like in college and going out and living their best life. And I have a baby to take care of. Needless to say, I went through a little bit of postpartum. I never like resented my son or, had any of like the really bad thoughts that some women with postpartum do get. But like it was just a very hard thing to adjust to. It was a struggle, but I got through it, and eventually it all just kind of came together, and I just focused super hard on just being the best mom that I could be and learning all I could learn. And then by the time my second son was born 6 years later, I was fully ready. There was no problem at all. And like, I don't know. It's hard to explain what I went through at that time because, I was with my first husband, and basically our relationship, our marriage was really never in a good place. When we got married, like I didn't do it because I wanted to. I did it because I felt like I had to. And like our relationship was just in a really, really toxic and tumultuous phase. And I felt trapped, and I was afraid of leaving him because I didn't know what he would do, how he would react. And he would always threaten to like take my son and disappear if I ever, decided to leave him. So I felt like, well, if I marry him, it'll show him that I'm committed and that I'm a dedicated mom, and like maybe then all these problems will stop. And I mean, they did for a bit, but not really. And yeah, so I just kind of was just at that time also, my social life was pretty good. Like we had some friends that lived right next door to us that we would hang out with all the time. So I think having that in my life really distracted me from the fact that I really was not happy in my life. And then, after my second son was born, I wouldn't say that those friendships fizzled out. Like we were still seeing those people and hanging out with them, but like there was definitely a change in the dynamic of our friendship. There was an incident that had happened later the year after my younger son was born, and after that, basically those friends decided to like kind of stop inviting us over because my ex-husband was clearly an issue. And even though they liked me, they knew that hanging out with me without him was like not really possible back then. But then whenever I would go out on my own, I started remembering again, like, oh yeah, I'm not happy, some of my most best memories, not really memories, but just the times that I was happiest in that marriage was when my ex-husband was not home. When I'd be at home with the kids and he was at work. That was like my favorite time of all of it. And when he was home, back then I worked the graveyard shift while he worked in the daytime. So during the week, we were only, together for just like a couple hours in the evening. And then I'd go to work. And then when I'd come home in the morning, he would pretty much leave right after. And I think that was another thing that got me through it. And then on the weekends, I would drink a lot of wine just to be able to tolerate being around him. And then I just finally started realizing that I was not happy, Like it started to creep back into my brain when my son was born. That metamorphosis, that change. So it's like I need to be a better mom, but in order for me to be a better mom, I need to be happy. And in order to be happy, I need to not be with this person because they make me feel like the worst version of myself. And then when my son was 2.5, my ex and I split up, and I started seeing my current husband, and now here we are, almost 6 years later. And yeah. And it's, unfortunately, my ex-husband still continues to be the biggest issue in my life, but it is what it is, Yeah, it stinks that I have to co-parent with this guy, but at least I don't have to live with him anymore. And I don't have to pretend to like him anymore. And it's a very liberating feeling, to say the least. And now I'm with a man that is the complete opposite of everything my ex-husband was. He makes me feel wonderful. We have a very good relationship. You know, obviously everything's not perfect. There's still flaws, there's still issues here and there, but nothing like what I was going through before. And the biggest difference is I really love my husband. Like, I really, really love my husband so much. I can't even remember the last time I truly felt love for my ex-husband. Even before all the real problems started. Honestly, the reason why the problem started is because I wasn't happy and I didn't love the guy. I just ended up with somebody when I was very young and very vulnerable, and I got sucked in. That's pretty much how that went. But now I'm a completely different person than I was when I was 18. You know, like I said, about to turn 34 in a few weeks. Or actually 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. 2 weeks from Friday, I will be 34 years old, which is, again, a wild thought to think about. It's like I think about my parents when they were that age, and completely different than how I am now and what I'm experiencing. But then again, they're boomers and things were just a little bit better for them economically, if you know what I mean. But we're not here to talk about that. Just in a place where all I can think of is what comes next. Because, you know, I'm as good as I may be at my job, and even though there may be opportunity for growth, I don't want to do it anymore. You know, I've been in the supply chain industry for 11 years now, and sorry, I'm like trying to get comfortable, so if I seem really fidgety, I'm just got this, you know. And I'm sorry if this whole sitting situation seems inappropriate, but gotta make room for the bump, you know. And his feet are up in my ribs, and I'm just trying to get comfortable. So just bear with me. But anyways, I've been in my line of work for 11 years, and it really has not proven fruitful for me. And I'm over it, you know. I could try and advance and move up in the company, but it's the complete opposite of what I want in my personal life. I want something that will give me the opportunity to be with my kids more, you know what I mean? And if I move up in my company, it's just going to give me less time with them. And that's the complete opposite of what I want. I don't want to have to rely on babysitters or daycares to take care of my kids. I've gone this far in my life without that. I mean, my mom was living with us for a while, a couple years ago, and was looking after my kids when I was working full time. But she's been gone for 2.5 years, and I don't ever see her coming back, because our relationship is just not in a good place, and I don't know if it ever will be. But that's a story for another day, you know. And like, I don't have any other family. I mean, I do, but I don't talk to them. I am the black sheep of my family, as is my husband. And because there's a lot of toxic people in our families, and we are the only people that are completely comfortable with calling them out on their behaviors, and they don't like that. So, you know, we're creating our own family and doing our own thing. So I don't want to have to rely on anybody else to take care of my kids. I would rather be the one doing it. And if I can earn an income or build a business or something that means something to me while I'm doing that, I mean, that's honestly really all I've ever wanted to do. Ever since my first son was born, all I wanted was to be a stay-at-home mom that still made money. I just didn't know how to do that. If I had known in 2009 what social media was going to be and all the opportunities that were going to come with it, I would have jumped on that train so early. If I would have known what YouTube was going to be like, yeah, possibilities would have been endless, and I would have jumped on this content creation thing so much sooner. But, you know, you live and you learn, and I might be a little late to the game now, but better late than never, you know? And all I want to do with my life is find a way to help people in whatever way I can, whether it's from making positive, uplifting videos and just chatting with you all about life and struggles and personal mishaps, and or if it's, you know, writing or blogging or whatever. The possibilities are endless. It's just taking the time to sit down and make it happen. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm just gonna commit myself to this content creation thing and just dive in head first and learn all there is to learn. You know, try to get better with my video editing skills. I'm actually thinking about learning web design. So there's that. I'm trying to make more time for writing. I'm trying to put a cookbook together. Starting to write some like articles, blog posts, and trying to get back into creative writing as well with like short stories. I'm like trying to I'm really been channeling my love for Halloween lately. Like, it's summertime. I love summertime, but I am just ready for Halloween season already. And I think part of that is just because I know I'm not going to be doing too many like summer activities this year because of, you know. So I think I'm just, my mind is just focused on Halloween. And, you know, I feel like last year was kind of a flop as far as my holiday season went. And I really want to do it up big this year. So I don't know. You might be seeing a lot of Halloween stuff coming, like a lot sooner than normal. But we'll see. My Alexa decided to just start talking for no reason at all. Hate it when she does that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to be trying to improve my video editing skills and try and make this YouTube channel something very inviting and a fun place to be. So I know I've said this before, but I hope you will stick around, and I will be making more content on a more regular basis. So if you came to stop by today, I thank you so much, and I hope you stick around. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.